Greetings and thank you for listening to this important message. I'm Patrick Wood, founder and director of Citizens for Free Speech. Considering the renewed and intensified attacks on free speech, Citizens for Free Speech is doubling its efforts to defend and protect the First Amendment from utter annihilation. Anyone who thinks there will be a return to normal in America will soon meet the ugly reality that the attacks on American sovereignty and the Constitution have only just begun. The globalists who are now openly declaring war on America will not stop until we thoroughly and completely reject them. The Great Panic of 2020, induced by a globalist narrative of fear and propaganda surrounding COVID-19, was merely the opening volley in a global revolutionary war to destroy liberty and freedom everywhere. All tyrannical revolutions in the past 200 years have started with one singular strategy, and that is to assault citizens' ability to communicate. Free speech is anathema to would-be tyrants because it allows ordinary people like you and me to expose their plans and actions. Thus, newspapers, radio, and TV stations are always the first to be attacked in order to suppress dissent and to publish revolutionary propaganda. In America, the U.S. Constitution enshrines our rights to communicate freely. The framers believed that such rights were divinely granted to men rather than granted by men. This is why the First Amendment starts with the words, "Congress shall make no law." In other words, dear politicians, please keep your hands off of religion, keep your hands off of free speech, keep your hands off of freedom of the press, the right to assemble, and the right to petition you for a redress of our grievances. A redo of 2020 is now underway, and the assault is going to be greatly intensified. The predictable result is further economic destruction, more lockdowns, mask and vaccine mandates, vaccine passports, and the demonization of anyone who chooses to not participate. Evidence of this is seen in the following recent examples and headlines. Los Angeles County just reinstated a mask mandate over the so-called Delta variant of COVID-19. The governor of New Jersey threatens to reinstate statewide mask mandates if citizens don't get vaccinated. President Biden himself says mask mandates are coming for school children under 12 years old. Chicago says all students must wear masks in school, even if vaccinated. No less than 8 state governments already require people who are not yet fully vaccinated against COVID-19 to wear face coverings indoors. Alabama's Governor Kay Ivey spreads hate and division with statements like, quote, "Start blaming the unvaccinated folks." Airlines are mandating vaccine passports for local and international travel. Senator Mitch McConnell just publicly threatened to get vaccinated or face federal mask mandates. And of course, Anthony Fauci now recommends universal masking of everyone over 2 years old. Many stores and businesses are enforcing mask mandates for the unvaccinated, and in some cases also for the vaccinated. Big tech is officially tethered up with government to censor all opposing narratives that they, and they alone, consider to be misinformation. As Citizens for Free Speech, we strongly oppose any restrictions on our ability to communicate effectively and freely. This immediately precludes the wearing of face masks, social distancing, and any limits on assembly, all of which infringe on free speech. Secondly, censorship of opposing communications not only violate the rights of the speaker or writer, but also the rights of those who seek to receive those communications. For instance, for you to give your informed consent prior to receiving an injection of an unapproved gene therapy treatment, you must be properly informed of the risk with the straight-up, unvarnished truth of the matter. If that information is intentionally hidden from you, then informed consent is a sham, and you are tricked into taking risks that you might not otherwise be willing to accept. We believe these attacks on the First Amendment are not just unintended consequences of some other globalist agenda, but rather are intentional and strategically designed to crush the only amendment necessary to protect the rest of the U.S. Constitution. Our first national president, George Washington, could well have written these words for us today. Quote, "Our cruel and unrelenting enemy leaves us no choice but a brave resistance or the most abject submission. This is all we can expect. We have therefore to resolve and to conquer or die. Our own country's honor all call upon us for a vigorous and manly exertion, and if we now shamefully fail, we shall become infamous to the whole world. The eyes of all of our countrymen are now upon us, and we shall have their blessings and praises if happily we are the instruments of saving them from the tyranny meditated against them. Let us therefore animate and encourage each other and show the whole world that a free man contending for liberty on his own ground is superior to any slavish mercenary on earth." Close quote. Indeed, there is tyranny meditated against us. Our enemy is unrelenting. Our only choices are brave resistance or abject submission. We must, indeed, animate and encourage each other to contend for liberty on our own ground. To answer these challenges, Citizens for Free Speech is rapidly enhancing its volunteer program for extended online and in-person training opportunities to equip you and your local community. Our private, encrypted, and wholly owned social media network will be offered to volunteers as a means of networking and communicating the affairs of their resistance. Additional tools and collateral will help you to leverage those efforts. Lastly, Citizens for Free Speech will challenge all Americans to stand up and fight for freedom and liberty while there is still time and opportunity to do so. Please take a minute to share this video with as many people as you can and direct them to citizensforfreespeech.org for more information and to join up with the largest group of American citizens fighting for and defending free speech in America.